Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Pieces of Progress podcast, and this is just a space, a gentle one, a place to talk about the ups and downs of life, personal growth, professional growth, and the messy, beautiful in between pieces that make us who we are. I named it Pieces of Progress because growth isn't linear. It's not this perfect straight path with clear check marks. It's more like puzzle pieces scattered on the floor. Every day we pick up one piece. Sometimes the piece fits, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we think we're going backwards, but really we're just shifting things around to make space for what's supposed to come next. So, today, for our very first episode, I wanted to start with something foundational. Something we talk about all the time, but rarely sit with deeply. It's about self love. What self love actually means. Self love is thrown around everywhere. Quotes, TikToks, self care Sundays, and it can start to feel like a trend instead of a tool. But real self love,
I
it's
don't get
quieter,
I'm the total
it's
miss you
softer,
all
and
my
it's not always
time.
pretty.
You don't get
Self love is
it.
speaking to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you adore, taking
Ano ka man
responsibility
beting
for your
ane?
growth without punishing yourself for being human, being honest with yourself even when it's uncomfortable. And sometimes it's just getting out of bed and deciding that today you're going to try again. A lot of people think self love is confidence, but confidence is the result. Self love is the process. Why self love is hard? Let's be honest. Self love doesn't feel natural at first. We're taught to be humble, not to take up too much space, hustle harder, compare ourselves constantly, and only feel worthy when we're productive. So when you suddenly try to say, hey, I matter, I deserve kindness, it feels weird. It feels selfish. It feels like you're lying to yourself. But that discomfort, that's just unfamiliarity, not truth. You're not unlovable, you're just unused to loving yourself. The progress pieces. Since this podcast is about progress, I want to share a few gentle pieces of self love, small shifts that can create big change. Notice your self talk. Pay attention to the little comments you make to yourself. Would you say those words to a friend? If not, they don't belong in your mind either. Celebrate the small wins. Not everything is going to be a milestone. Sometimes the win is that you showed up. Sometimes the win is that you didn't give up. Let yourself rest. Rest is not the opposite of progress. Rest is part of progress. A tired version of you can't grow the way a nurtured version of you can. Don't rush your healing. You don't need to be a better woman, a better man immediately. You just need to be present with where you are. I want to leave you with a thought. Self love isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you were before. Life convinced you that you weren't enough. You don't have to prove your worth, you just have to let yourself notice it, even if it's in pieces, even if it's slow, even if some days you forget. This podcast is going to be a journey, yours and mine, a place where we explore growth, not as a straight line, but as a collection of little pieces. Some messy, some brilliant, but all meaningful. Thank you for being here with me on my first episode. And if something resonated with you today, hold on to it. Carry it gently into the rest of your week. And remember, even when you can't see it, you are making progress. Until next time,